Hello everybody, welcome back to another update vlog video, or whatever you want to call them. I think it's only fair I made another one after the last one I made, obviously, which first and foremost, the most important thing, I want to thank you all sincerely for your support on that video. You know, when going through a rough time, those things really make a difference, and I honestly appreciate every single one of you that commented and interacted with that video in general. I feel very blessed to have amazing people like you around me in a situation that I am in right now, and I want to thank you sincerely for your support. And I want to apologize for the glowy, sweaty shit. It's fucking hot in this office. It's literally, it's unbelievable. I can't cope with it. It's bad. It's really, really bad. But yeah. As I said, it's only fair if I made another one, just, you know, letting you guys know how things are going. If you don't care, then just please do not watch. There will be a gaming video up tomorrow. That's absolutely totally fine. But there were people who did care and who were curious. So I think it's only fair I made another video a couple of days after. Well, a couple of days, it's been a bit longer than that. But still, I'm doing, yeah. I wish I could say I'm doing okay. Like, I wish I could just say, yeah, no, I'm fine. But I would be lying, and I don't like to lie, especially not to you guys, to anyone in fact, but especially not you. The initial shock is over. Like, initially you get to that shock, like, why, how, what just happened, why did this happen, what can I do, until at a certain point you come at the point in which you, whether forced or not, come into the period in which you have to start accepting. And I think that is both the longest and the hardest part of every breakup scenario. Of course, the initial shock is painful. You start thinking about what you've done wrong, if anything. You start thinking about what you could have gone better. You start thinking about what you can still do to salvage it. You can start thinking about what the options that you have still are. You start thinking about, how bad this is, how shocking it is, what you can do, stress, all the things happen. And that goes over. A day or two or three or four pass, and then an initial shock blows over. And then you get into the situation like, fuck, this actually happened. And now I'm going to have to cope with it and deal with it and try to set it beside me. And that is the hardest part of every breakup. And it's difficult. It really is, because it's not just the feelings that you have for someone and the things that you share with someone. It is also a very big part that plays in there is getting used to something. I personally, I was used to like text in the morning. I was used to like talk during the day. I was used to certain conversations and certain topics to talk about, and something and someone to just talk to when I needed to share something. And that just gets stripped away. And it's a very big part of me because, I'm a very emotional person. People don't think like that of me often because, I don't know, I don't seem to look like it. But I am a very emotionally attached person. Whether that is to a scenario, a place, a time, a person. I'm a very emotionally attached person. I get sentimental very quickly. Like, when I think about certain things, I have the same with music. I can relate music to my feelings and situations so well because of memories and things I've been through. I can relate to that very much, and I'm a very sentimental and emotionally attached person in that regard. And so it's hard for me to see a person that I care about a lot leave my life because a huge amount of sentimental value, obviously, in this regard. Also, the feeling that you have for that person. And the way that something that you're used to gets stripped out of your life, which is always difficult because we humans are, whether you like it or not, or want to admit it or not, we humans are all big fans of getting used to something, getting into a rhythm. We can all tell ourselves that we're pioneers. I do as well, that we try to go with the flow, do our own thing, find our own way, and we do. But every single human appreciates a flow and a certainty as long as they're in it. They won't complain about it because it makes you feel comfortable. It makes you feel like you have something you can rely on, trust on. It just makes us feel good overall. And therefore it makes it even all the harder. And I'm in that scenario right now in which I realized, like, fuck, this is actually happening. What do I do? What is the next step that I take in life? And I don't have the answer for myself. I don't have the answer for myself at all. And that is pretty, it's normal. It's normal. You have to think about it properly and hard Because the next step you take is a big one, and it's okay to take your time with it. The best thing you can't do, and I speak from my own, short-term experiences by now, don't go looking out on the internet for advice. Like, I've just putting it out there, I've tried that. I've tried looking up the scenarios other people had on like forums and all that, like, what do you do? How do you fix it? Can you fix it? How do they end up? And it's either going to give you the wrong idea in a positive way, or it's either going to give you, it strips away all the hope or good feeling that you still had because what you read. Because every situation is different, every person is different, and you should treat it as such. And you should not go online on forums and stuff. You can always ask for help and support with your own question, but no, don't read other person's scenario like I did. Because the answers, you either not like them, and if you do, they might give you a false hope because your situation is different, and the person that you're dealing with is obviously different. So, don't do that. One of the biggest tips I can give you is don't listen to tips. That's basically all I'm saying when it comes to breakups. And that's, very ironic in a way. But like, as I explained in the previous video, if you haven't seen it yet, then, you could check it out if you're interested. You see all these tips, all things you should be doing, when you broke up with someone is, find new hobbies, invest in friends, go out with them, have fun, basically spend your time on other things. And for me, it's bollocks. Doesn't work for me. I've been there before, tried it before, it has never worked and it won't happen again. And for some people it might, and if it does, then that's great. That's awesome. You found a way for you to deal with it. It doesn't make it less painful, but you found a way to deal with it, and that's great. That's a really good first step. It never worked for me. It never has. So I'm not in the illusion that I should be doing that, but therefore tips don't really help me, because believe me, wherever you fucking look, when it comes to advice on breakups and all that, every single person will tell you, find something to do, to focus on, and to get your mind off things. That's literally the single first advice that everyone will fucking give you. Okay? If it works for you, again, fantastic. Doesn't work for me. Never has, never will. And that's partially because, getting back to that, I'm an emotionally attached person. And I am one of those persons, I'm starting to, bind everything to that person or the scenario or whatever we're talking about. In this case, a person. I start to think about what we've done and then intertwining it with the things that I'm doing at that same moment. I start to relate everything to what I'm going through, what I've been through. Like, all of a sudden, it was always been there, but all of a sudden you notice every single love story thing on TV or breakup story or every single song that has something of that in it. You start recognizing it all of a sudden and pretending like it wasn't there before, even though it was, but you didn't pay attention because your emotional state of being wasn't trying to, and now it is. And I'm lost. I'm confused still, unsure of what to do. I know what to do in a way, but I'm not sure what I should be doing for myself. That's kind of the thing. Like, basically to keep it a little bit more, basically to keep it private but be open, both at the same time, I suppose. This person I was with requires a bit of time for herself, which happens at times. I had issues with that because I didn't feel, obviously didn't feel good doing it because things were going so well in my personal opinion, and then all of a sudden you get hit by that brick in your head, and I was trying to find a way that it didn't have to be in that way. We talked about it, and it has to be in that way, and I have to accept that, and that is, something that I can live with. The problem is, however, that I don't know what the future is gonna hold. And that is one of my biggest problems because I can't have that in a relationship. Like, I want to know how someone feels, what their plans are. And it doesn't have to be like all detailed and all that, that is not how life works. But in a way, like, I'm kind of lost right now because I don't know what my future with this person is going to be. Whether it's over as we speak, or whether at some point there will still be a chance, or whether at some point that won't happen or will happen. I'm not sure. And therefore, I'm still stuck in like these two dimensions of trying to let go and move on, which I personally always find very hard when it comes to persons because, again, emotionally attached. Or whether I should try to focus on myself, try doing my own thing, which I will, regardless of what the outcome is, but keeping in mind that, there is this option and this this way that things might still get rolling back in. I'm not sure. And I'm going to have to find that out for myself. And that's basically how it's going. I'm in that process of trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. And to be quite frank, I won't have that answer for the coming weeks or even months. Probably. I am not sure. So it's a matter of time, just like with every breakup. But for me, it's a bit more complicated, unfortunately. I know everyone says that because it feels like that, and it probably isn't. But for me, it feels like that. And that's, in the end, what for me the most important part is. Like, what I feel, how I feel about it. So we're going to have to try and see how it goes for me. Or, well, I'm going to have to do that. Not you, obviously. But I'm going to have to just wait up. See what happens with this person. See if we talk again at some point. See what happens. And making a decision from that point on. But I thought it would be okay to just update you a little bit on how things are going with me. So there you have it. And yeah. Thanks again for your support. In all the times, like honestly, the last 6 months have probably been some of the best, if not the best, of my life. I didn't feel any pressure. Again, I had a person that I really liked. My family's always been there. YouTube, while not going as great as it was, I felt free in what I did, and I felt great. You know, every day I woke up, and I was happy to wake up, and I was happy to live another day on this in my own little world, in what I've created. And with this, all of a sudden, that came crashing down. And now I'm in one of the hardest. You know, it's the contrast of life, isn't it? It really is. But therefore, I want to thank you for being there in both periods of times. Really appreciate that. More than I can express in words in the video that I'm recording at like 1 a.m. at night because I can't sleep again. But thank you. I appreciate you immensely. And if you're going through anything, feel free to talk to me in any private way or public, however you want to do it. I will be there. I will try at the very least. Thank you very much. And until the next time.